Hi, welcome back everyone. As always, I'm Dan at Tring Repair and Key Shop. Now today's video, I'm just going to throw together a bunch of things, to be honest. I've got a lot of jobs on the go in the shop and I'm doing some bits and bobs around the shop. So we'll see what I end up with at the end. One thing for sure though is we've got a mail order job, which is these beautiful Locs shoes in for iron horseshoes and Lulu toe plates. So keep watching to catch that. Alright, so let's begin with our first job of being these beautiful brand new Locs, paint and leather Oxfords, never been worn. Now what we're doing is the customer is using them for drill boots. Usually, I'm not sure where he's operating, but it's usually in the RAF, sometimes the Army, which involves putting iron horseshoe plates, you'll see in a minute, around the back, infilled with either leather or rubber. I'm going to go for leather, I think, just because it looks like a more premium job. And it gives it that clack clack sound when they're doing parades and drills. So we'll do that, and then a rubber sole on the front to protect it and give it grip, with some Lulu metal toe plates on the front. Okay, let's get started. So here we've got our Loc. So as I say, we're doing rubber soles, Lulu toe plates and iron horseshoes with a leather filler. So first we're going to start off with the heel and the horseshoe. Now the first thing we would do is take our horseshoe, now that we've got the right size, and fix it to the heel. But what I want to do first is make our insert. So I've got our leather cut out here, and I'm just going to figure out the shape and the size that we want. I just had to heat up this iron horseshoe so we could actually reshape it a little bit so it fit the heel better. But now I'm going to cut out the leather insert. I'm going to score the area I want, just using a knife, just so that we don't end up with any nasty pen marks on the leather. Now, what I need to do on these horseshoes is actually come out in a sort of T shape at the end here, because these horseshoes unfortunately don't make it all the way to the front of the heel. They only seem to make horseshoes up to 3 1/4 inch at this point, unless any of you know somewhere to get larger horseshoes, but I haven't been able to find any. Okay, so now we can cut it out. Alright, so there's our little T-shape insert. Now what I need to do is tidy up the edges on the machine just to make sure it fits in the horseshoe perfectly. But before that, we're going to fix the horseshoe onto the shoe. Okay, so for putting our horseshoe on, we just pop it onto our shoe and marry it up with the edge, right at the edge of the rubber heel. Now with these Locs, the heel block can be quite tough, so what I like to do is just make a little pilot hole just with our drill, with a skinny drill bit, just to give the Horseshoe Tacks a head start. Alrighty, so here we've got our Horseshoe Tacks, and if I show you, you can see they've got a very wide head, wide body, and they're tapered down the bottom. And this just means as it goes into the leather, it forces the leather to spread out and increases the pressure, so it holds in that much more securely. So I'll pop our horseshoe back on. What I've actually done is just sanded up the surface of this original heel, because we're going to be popping glue onto it. Let's put the leather insert in. Anyway, we'll line up. Now what I like to do is secure one of these top holes Okay, and it likes to move around, so then secure one of these bottom holes next. So we hold it in place from a couple of different angles before we put all the other nails in. Okay, now we're cooking. Right, that's our horseshoe securely on, giving it a good whack. That's not coming out. And now we've got our lever insert. But as I said, I just need to trim it to shape a little bit and come back and forth, marry it up to make sure it fits snugly inside the horseshoe. And the moment of truth. There we are, perfect. So now what we need to do is start securing it in. So I'm going to put a layer of contact adhesive on our lever, let it dry, and a layer on the shoe, let it dry, and then heat it up and stick it together. So we just pop over to our heat lamp, pop him in there, heat this guy up for a couple of minutes. When it's nice and sticky, we can go back to the horseshoe. All right, here we go. Squeeze him in there. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to take my hammer, really nudge it up inside. There we go. Before I put the tacks in, I'm just going to explain to you. I've just gone around the machine and taken away this inside piece of leather, just so it's the correct shape it's supposed to be, so we can see where we're putting the tacks. And we've just got these 10mm flat top tacks, which is ideal for this sort of job. So let's get them in there. Now obviously what we want to do is try and evenly space them out, mainly for appearance's sake. Oh, can you actually see these tacks are such a terrible problem with exposure in filming these videos. I should really get a high quality camera, shouldn't I? Stop trusting the old iPhone 8. It could be worse, it could be a Samsung. Oops. Okay, well that is it for the tacks. We need to just ink around the edge of the piece that's slightly sanded, and then we're done and we can move on to the sole. Okay, so moving on. We're moving on to the rubber sole, so we're putting that on just so that the shoe has extra durability and extra grip. And we're just using these Hexan fine ribbed sticker soles. I say sticker soles, but they are 5mm, they're quite chunky. So let's get to it. Okay, so we let the glue dry up, then we're going to heat activate it and stick it together. Okay, my lovely people, I'm back. I say I'm back because it's only been a second for you. It's actually been a couple of days for me till I could do the end of this video because I have been busy. Luckily, the customer doesn't mind waiting a little bit for these shoes. Now, we got up to finishing the horseshoes, and now we've got to do our Lulu toe plates. So, here we are. There's your Lulu toe plate. These are really cool, very hard wearing, a little thicker than your regular toe plate. So, what we're going to do here, your regular toe plate will just sit on top of the material, and that's okay because it's quite slim. These obviously are a little thicker, they would protrude too much if we just popped it on top. So what we're going to do is just cut a little recess from away from the toe so that the plate can sit inside. You do this with leather soles as well. So let's get to it. All right, cool, let's go. So we're just going to take our Lulu, line him up where we want it as a template for the section that we want to remove. So I'm going to make a score / start the cut along the base of the toe plate. That's the end of the day on a Saturday right now. Saturday's my busiest day and I've been flat out today. So I thought I'd just squeeze this in at the end of the day for you guys. Got to give you something, haven't I, at the end of the week? Trying to do weekly uploads, it's a little tricky sometimes. Whether I'll either be too busy or just won't really have anything interesting come in. Obviously you need a sharp knife for this. You wouldn't get very far if you were using a spoon. I'd actually quite like to see somebody try. Oh yeah. How can I help? Slight interruption, folks. Lovely old dear needed a new battery in her car key. But we're back and I can talk to you. Not that there's much to talk about. What's everybody been up to? Let me know in the comments. I've been asked for quite a lot of these jobs recently for the RAF, and you know, if you're one of the chaps that need these doing, get in touch with me on the Facebook page and we can talk about a mail order job for you. Okay, so there we are, we're left with a nice neat crevice. And I don't need to stop recording, we're on a roll, aren't we? So there we are, he sits perfectly in there, and he's already on the last. So we're just going to get our lasting tacks. Pop some nails in there. Where's my hammer? There he is. One. Two. Pick up a shoe. Don't need to pick up a shoe. We've already got one. Come on. 3. 4. Knock on the door. Full of rhymes today. 6. Okay everyone, that is the project done for this week's video. Iron horseshoes, leather inserts, rubber stick-on soles and Lulu toe plates. I enjoyed doing this job and I'm sure the customer's going to love it as well once he receives them back. Now, thanks for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, hit like, it helps other people see this content. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'm doing new videos every week and I'll finish by saying thank you very much and I'll catch you next time. Hold on guys, don't go anywhere just yet. I thought I'd share a quick little bonus. It's a quick, interesting little thing. People ask me if I can stretch the calves of boots, and the answer is yes. So we want to stretch up here. So we stretch shoes anyway. The process is simple. We put a stretching solution on the leather that relaxes the fibers and lets them expand. And then obviously we need to put some kinetic pressure inside to force it apart. So with boots, how do we do that? Well, we've got this contraption here. It's a bit like a medieval torture device. So this goes down in the calf, and if you can see the workings, there's a crank there which turns and in turn makes the machine expand. So I'm just going to do this one quickly for you. So your stretching formula, either comes in a rub-on liquid. This year I'm just using a spray for convenience. It does darken the leather straight away because it's wet like water, but it does not stain, so don't worry. It's up to you whether you want to get the fluid on the outside or the inside. Depends which part of the boot is tight, really. So he goes right down in there. Okay, now we've got the bottom portion of the crank that we need to expand, and a top portion. So you can decide whether you want to expand here or both. Now this lady said she couldn't even get them on, so I'm giving it some elbow grease and giving them a good stretch. Now, one reason it's not so easy is that we have to let the leather, or whatever material it is, relax and expand, and that doesn't happen straight away. So I'm going to leave that like that, leave it over the night. It's going to relax, and then of course it will be loose, and I'll be able to pull this stretcher straight out, at which point I'm going to tighten it some more, put on some more stretching fluid, and that will gradually stretch it enough so that the customer can get her foot in. That is the end of the video. Catch you next time.